Grown-ass adults can play with their hormones and eat regular-ass bread. Why can't we? Coach Greg, and today's video is about Merijn. Hopefully I said this before. I did a video on Merijn. I called him Merijn by accident. And I did a video saying if he was natty or not. And at the time he was natty, and I still think he was natty. Recently, he just came out, not out of the closet, well, kinda. He's not natty anymore. He's on TRT, that stands for testosterone replacement therapy, or HRT. Well, Place for Dates channel, he picked up on this real quick and I was quite impressed. I said, hey, what's going on here? And so I watched his video and he was watching, I think he was in Ibiza or something, or on a boat or at a party. He had his shirt off and he quickly saw a picture of him in 1 second and he was like, oh my goodness, look at that guy, that specimen of a man. He's pretty juicy, that guy.
Hot chicks, and the first thing I noticed is how this guy is looking more saucy than usual.
So then he zoomed in, is like, whoa, wait a minute. That's that Merijn guy. No. I've seen that guy before. You look at his old photos, so you can see he's quite impressively built, but not like massive, doesn't have that crazy round muscle, and he just kind of looked natural, he just did. Well-built guy who trained really hard, and that's how he did, and with excellent genetics, and that's how he could look. But now, it was just a bit too impressive. Just a bit too much, a bit too quickly. Look, when you're in your mid-20s, you've been training for a long time, you don't just suddenly put on a lot of muscle. And I've been criticized. People criticize Place for Dates too. Oh, you guys make this natty or not videos, and it's stupid and it doesn't pay off, and why would you do that and leave them alone? Well, if you make enough natty or not videos, people watch them and they become educated. They look around and hey, no, that ain't natty. No, that ain't natty. They start realizing, whoa, maybe some of these dream physiques that we want to achieve are unattainable. Then the people who would have not came out and said anything, they think twice now. You think Merijn would have came out and said he's not natural if Place for Dates or myself or anyone didn't know anything about it? No, he would just keep it to himself. He would just get huge. Maybe he would use it to sell a program. Hey, I did this bulk up thing and now I put on 10 pounds of muscle. Buy my cookbook. Buy my training book. They use their physiques to make money. They pretend they're natural to make money to sell you programs. People do it all the time. Not anymore. So he has come out shortly after Place for Dates made a video on him. Unfortunately, a bit too late. He'd been on it for a while. Would have been nice for him to say it right away. I would have preferred if he would have said, hey guys, I'm on HRT now. I'm gonna start tomorrow. I would have preferred that. But I watched some of his video and he said, hey, I didn't wanna promote or glorify HRT. I didn't want to make it look like, hey, you should all start doing this. So he chose not to. So I'm gonna go with that. He just didn't want to make people think that they should all do HRT. But look, if you need HRT, if, for example, you're suffering from some of the things he explained in his video, you know, like depression, feel like shit, low sex drive, you know the symptoms. You watch enough of my videos, haven't you? Then maybe you should go to the doctor and get tested. Now, in his country, like mine, unlike in the USA, in the United States, everywhere, in the United States, it's easy to get HRT, everyone's giving it out. Our country's not so easy. You go to the doctor and say, you have low sex drive, you feel like shit, they give you some freaking antidepressants. They don't test your blood work and see, oh, your testosterone levels are low. No, they don't do the right thing. So Merijn is saying, hey, I'm a young guy and my testosterone levels are low, and so I need it. Obviously, the dose that he's being given is more than he needs. Do I care about that? Zero do I care about that. He's still being monitored by a doctor, and why not maximize and optimize your HRT dose? He's not being given the minimum dose required to feel okay. He's probably given the maximum dose to feel amazing. And why wouldn't you want to feel amazing? As long as the doctor says it's okay, then do it. Do what the doctor says. I'm not a freaking doctor, I'm just a circle. I'm saying go to the doctor. I'm not saying just randomly start doing HRT on your own. I'm saying get a prescription from your doctor, don't break the law. So Merijn says, hey, you get into your 40s and 50s, you know your testosterone's gonna drop. But when you're young, you have all this high testosterone, you don't need it. It's not actually true. There's actually teenagers who I have coached. They need HRT as teenagers. So no, it's not an automatic thing. Just because you're young doesn't mean you have the amount of hormones you're supposed to have. You wish you did, you hope you did, but it's not always the case. So listen, if you feel like garbage, go get your freaking testosterone levels checked. Check it now. Don't wait till you're 40 or 50 and stop thinking that HRT or TRT is a bad word. I think people think that you gotta bleep out TRT. Testosterone, oh my God, it's a steroid. Yeah, it's a steroid, so freaking what? See, all the women are getting estrogen. They're all getting birth controls as teenagers. We're grown-ass adults. Go to the doctor, get it checked out, and see if it could be beneficial for you. I'm sick of people thinking that, oh, you're cheating. You're a cheater. Are people saying that women are cheating because they're using birth control? You're a cheater. You should have to use condoms. Who are we to say what you can or can't do? We shouldn't be those people. Do it if you want, as long as it's legal. So looking at Merijn's Instagram account, no longer natural. How great is that? He's open and honest about it. Not misleading anyone, not tricking anyone. Although he probably had a couple months of trickery in there. He didn't come out and say anything. Few people were asking him, hey, this picture's looking pretty impressive. This is your piss. Let me just find a comment. Honestly, the best physique you've had by Tom Shed. And then Merijn responded, thanks. That's a bit misleading right there. Well, yeah, it's the best thing you can have. Thanks. I mean, he doesn't have to say he's natural, but at the time, everyone assumed he was natural. He didn't say, thanks, HRT did that. Everyone knows I wasn't on HRT my whole freaking life. And I abused steroids in the past. I'm on HRT now. But I did build an impressive physique when I was natural. I would even argue that it was more impressive than Merijn's physique right now on PEDs. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know, whatever. But I was pretty well built, and so now that I'm on HRT only, I look pretty freaking good. And no, most of you who take HRT will not look like me, and not even close. In fact, I'll stretch it further. Most of you who abuse testosterone, tren, GH growth hormone, insulin, whatever you want to take, every SARM in the world at any dose, will not even look like I do right now on HRT only. Sorry, PEDs just don't work that well. They don't. Yes, they work amazingly well. But if their genetics suck, not going to be good enough to get you to be at an IFBB pro level. Come on, let's be serious. Do you know how many people are abusing steroids? And do you know how many people are IFBB pros? Not freaking many. A lot more abusing drugs than people who are pros. Everyone just is going to automatically say, oh yeah, but you're on them there steroids. That's why you look like you do. Meanwhile, 90% of people that are on steroids look like poop. Sorry, but they do. They do. You think you're on steroids and you're going to look amazing. You're going to be a little bit bigger for sure. But you ain't burning off all the fat you got and having a six-pack just because you're on steroids. No, that takes dedication to proper diet, cardio, and so on. So Merijn says, hey, look, steroids are not good for your health. He's not going to argue that. Steroids are not, in fact, good for your health unless you actually need them. When my endocrinologist gave me a prescription for steroids, he did so knowing that it was better for me to be on testosterone than not. He compared the advantages and disadvantages of both situations, and it was his educational decision as an endocrinologist, which is an expert in hormones, that I should be on TRT. That decision is not taken lightly. Most of your family doctors are not going to give you testosterone. Mine wouldn't. They had to send me to the expert, a higher level of education, before making that decision. That endocrinologist said, testosterone is good for you. It will help you. He's more concerned with the damaging effects of too low of a testosterone than he was of having normal levels of testosterone. And my levels are normal. I'm not beyond the normal level. Trust me, if I went to the United States to an anti-aging clinic, they'd up my dose for sure. 140 milligrams a week is what I'm at right now. He started me at 100 milligrams, said, oh, you can go up a bit. Went to 160, got tested. I was at 750 nanograms per deciliter. He lowered my dose. I was at 750. Lowered it. I was like, can we up it? Nope, we're lowering it. My endocrinologist did not want me to abuse testosterone. Okay, so just because you're on testosterone doesn't mean it's unhealthy. You need some testosterone in your body for health. So Merijn is not a doctor. I ain't a doctor, I'm a circle. But I can tell you that if the doctor tells you you need testosterone, not want it, need it, it's healthy for you. It's not gonna ruin your life, not gonna shorten your life. You need it, it's medication. It's like blood pressure medication. If you don't need blood pressure medication, you shouldn't be taking it. But if you need it, it's there to extend your life. That's right, to make you live longer.
I literally feel better than I've ever felt because the amount of testosterone I take is such a little amount, like it's not comparable to a steroid cycle.
It would be very informative for the population to know what that little amount is, because people actually doubt that HRT is that beneficial. If you could say the exact dose and say, here's my before and after, this is what HRT did for me, then people would start believing that you don't need to abuse PEDs to get significant gains. He's been working out for a whole 10 years before he took HRT. And honestly, it's probably longer than most. But I'd been working out for 10 years at the age of 20. I'd hardly even started competing. I wasn't even close to thinking about HRT in 10 years of training. But he had a lower sex drive, and so on. His doctor thought it was important to do so. In Canada, if you went in and you're on the lower end of the range, you know what they do? See you later. If you're way below the bottom end of the range, you know what they do? Come back for another test. Then you know what they do? Then they send you an endocrinologist. Then you know what he does? Sends you to another test. Do you know how I know? Because that's what they did to me. My testosterone levels were 47 and then 49 nanograms per deciliter when I went. How high is that? Not very freaking high, now is it? I bet Merijn's was in the 300s to start. And upper range? Upper range of what? Every country has a different upper range. Everyone quotes a different range. In our country, an upper range probably around 800. United States, it's over 1,000. I coach lots of guys on HRT that are at 1,500. That's double where I'm at. And 750 is freaking high. It's over double what Merijn probably was. So I'm already double what he is. A lot of people on HRT are 4 times where Merijn was. So you can see, it's in the eye of the beholder. And are you natty at this level? No. Anytime you take any testosterone, you're not natural. I don't care if your testosterone levels were at 50 and you took steroids and now they're at 100. You're not natty, even though you're below normal. If you take something to help you, you're not natural.
I think that it has to do a lot. And this is just an idea. I don't have any evidence to back this up. The last few years, guys, I've been working really hard. You know, I've been working really hard.
Imagine if testosterone levels were only low because he works so hard. I work 100 hours a week. I wouldn't have any testosterone at all in my body if that were true. Working hard doesn't actually lower your testosterone to the point of needing HRT. So those of you who are thinking, oh man, I work really hard. You don't need HRT just because you work hard. So just being honest here, more likely that dieting to an extreme level, yo-yo dieting, more likely the cause of your lower testosterone. When you diet to the point of doing a physique competition and you get shredded and you're in a severe calorie deficit, guess what? Testosterone level is going to crash. All those who I coach who are anorexic, all the men out there who are anorexic who I've coached and currently coaching, their testosterone levels are dramatically reduced. So the diet has a much more important role in that than, say, working hard, studying too much. No, it's more likely dieting too freaking hard, trying to get to an unrealistic expectation of how a man or woman, that's right, or freaking circle should look. Too much pressure to look amazing. Men trying to get to 5 to 6% body fat. I coach lots of these guys. They're freaking starving themselves to get shredded because they think they need to look that way when they actually don't. And I bet most people think that I'm the one that encourages this and promotes this, when I'm actually the one saying, hey, no, men, 15% is awesome. Women, 25%, that'd be amazing if you could get to that point. But no, the people want more. They want to be 5 and 6% and don't understand the massive amount of suffering that takes place. And yes, it can in fact lower your testosterone. You think bodybuilders have a freaking strong sex drive before a show? We're all on PEDs. We're on steroids, testosterone, everything. Sex drive a week before a show and you're 4.5% body fat? No, it's not there. It's almost non-existent. And you're on testosterone and you still don't have a sex drive. Does it sound worth it to you? It's freaking ridiculously hard. I call it a nightmare. Diet to the point that you feel like you look good and you're happy. But if you get to the point where you're suffering, where you have no energy and you feel like shit and you're starving, stop. It's enough. Enough is enough when that happens. That's when you know. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. Blooping up 2 videos way over there. Be sure to watch one. Follow me on freaking Strava where I'm going to bike ride harder than last time. And until next time, I am out.
And we have to make a decision. We have to do something. And we know there's great benefits to owning, even if it's not a